Hello everybody. I've checked my microphone and I'm hoping it's working this time round. So in the hope that you can hear me, because every week I seem to have a problem with my microphone. So hello to Maxine. Maxine was first, I think Maxine was first in the house tonight. Let's have a look. Hello Sue, hello Carol, hello Gemma, hello Kim, hello Emma, hello Linda, hello Francis. If you can just confirm you can see me, you can hear me okay. Now, if you're not joining me live and you're watching on the replay, either way, please give me a thumbs up, pop me a note in the comments so I know you are present with me. So tonight we're kind of carrying on a bit of a journey with using eye pins and wire again. So we're going to go on the overhead as soon as I just check that you can hear me and see me okay. And for those of you that bought boxes from me from Create and Craft, they've all gone out now and the extended delivery's gone out as well, so hopefully those should be with you tomorrow. And apologies for the delay, it was because of the overseas delivery. So let's have a look. I think I have a slight delay in the comments coming through. Also, I have got more bead boxes with the gemstone chips, and these are wonderful for this project because you've got a complete range of, how many have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You've got 12 different gemstones in the box and some special beads, head pins, elastic, clear and black. So it's an absolute bargain, and there's 10 of those available. Those are currently in my Facebook group, but I will be putting them online probably over the weekend. Now I don't know why it's taking so long for me to see your comments. So anyway, I'm going to presume that you can see me and hear me okay. So I'm going to go on the overhead. But it's definitely a delay. Right, okie dokie. Here we go. So let's just have a quick look at what we did last week. So last week, was it last week? I think it was last week. We had a look at making the eye pin earrings, and we also had a look at making these earrings as well with the swirls. So we're continuing on that journey, and tonight I'm going to be showing you how to make an eye pin bracelet or necklace, how to actually make your own hook and loop clasp using 0.8mm wire, and I'm also going to show you how we use the one-step looper. So for those of you that haven't heard of the one-step looper before, it's actually using this particular machine. Sorry, it's really putting me off, the fact that I can't see your comments. This particular machine, handheld machine, which will do your eye pins for you. Right, let's just have a little look. I'm going to put a comment in there. Having problems seeing your comments. I'm just hoping that that might ping something up. Right, let's just bear with. I'm just going to open up another browser and let's just go on this one. I'm just going to open up my browser. I just want to make sure that you can see me and hear me okay. And I might be able to see the comments in a different browser online as well. Oh, it's a pain in the butt. Right, Where are we? Oh, right, okay. You can see me and hear me. Right, so I'm going to keep that open on. I'm so pleased you can see me and hear me. And I'm sorry to take so long to actually get to that. But for some reason, my nice little onliner has... Oh, yeah, I can see them now. There you are. Hello, Julie. Lovely to have you join. Julie's new to the group. Welcome from all of us, loud and clear. Love the finished cabochon necklace, do you? Me too. I was so chuffed with it. Hello, Deb. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Paula. Kim, you carry on having your dinner at the same time. Paula's having fish and chips. Oh, don't start me off on the fish and chips. Hello, Nikki. What size is my looper? I gotta be honest with you, I can't remember. I really can't remember. I'll have to check afterwards. Hello, Sally. Good to have you join. Right, I've got comments up now. I can go. I don't like it when I can't converse with you because that's part of our Thursday, is having a good old chat together. Right, okay, so we've got that out of the way. So this is one of the necklaces that I've made. I absolutely love it. So you're making your own chain effectively, and I love the multicoloured look. I'll show it you a little bit closer up when we get there. Right, so let's have a look first of all at what is an eye pin. So if you did miss last week's, obviously without the beads, you've got a loop formed one end. So I've actually popped some, I think these are moonstone, peach moonstone on here. So I'm going to show you how to do it manually, just using your ordinary pliers, and then I'm going to show you how you use a one-step looper. Now the one-step loopers, I haven't got any in stock, but to be honest, you can order them quite easily on Amazon. This brand, I think Beadsmith or Beadalon normally do the one-step loopers. As one of you quite rightly pointed out, there are different sizes which produce different size loops. Now doing the manual way is you cut about 1 centimetre from the end of the last bead. Now I'd suggest that you keep your hands free of the cutter, but either hold on to that end or pop it in a mat. If you've got a long end free, you can reuse it to make another eye pin. So with your chain nose pliers, I'm going to turn it at a right angle, but can you see I'm not actually going right up against the bead, because you want a bit of wriggle room so that you don't actually break that last bead. And then we're going to jump to the round nose pliers. So these are called looping pliers or round nose pliers, and they form your loops. Now have your end of your wire so that it's flush, so it's not poking out. You can't see any pointing out the end there. Hold your bead eye pin, the beads on the eye pin, with your non-dominant hand, and gradually turn the loop. Now this is all action from the wrist, and don't put it all in from your arm, because what you'll do is you'll buckle it. So it's just movements from here to here, small movements, and there you've formed an eye pin. Now if we look at this, I like to join the eye pins with another jump ring, because you then don't have to worry about whether or not the eye pin loops are at the same angle. If you are going to just join eye pin to eye pin, then you need to make sure that they match in terms of that they are horizontal both sides, if that makes sense. Right, so this, I thought moonstone and amethyst go quite nicely together. So let's have a little look at how the one-step looper forms. Now, if we turn it onto its side, can you see here? Let's just point it out to you. Can you see there that you've got a hole? Okay, so that hole, keep that in mind. We just turn that round, so that hole is there. If you look a bit closer, you've got this circle in the middle. That's what you form the loop around. So you have the already formed loop to the left, and then you pop your eye pin so that it goes through that hole at the end, and underneath that loop. Now you've got two ridges here and here. Let me just point them out to you. So you've got that there and that ridge there. You want your beads to go up against and buff up against this one here. Now this is where it can get a bit tricky, because I find sometimes, if I've got quite small hands, you see, is you actually need to squeeze these. So what you might want to do before you actually pop your eye pin in is just pull it in a little bit so that you've got a good clamp. Pop it through the end, push it so it butts right up to the end there, and hold. Now what you're going to do is squeeze. Now I'm hoping this is going to work. It cuts that end off, and then it goes round that middle bit and forms the loop. So you take that out and you've got your loop. Now if it's not fully formed, don't worry, you can do that manually. Just bring that in like so. So we do a few more with those. Let's just have a look and see if you've got any questions. Hello, Jackie. Right, comments will come back up in a second. Hello, Samantha. Yes, Kim, you're absolutely right. It has better movement, your chain, with a jump ring in between. That's so true. We're loving the fit. We're going to have fish and chip Thursday, aren't we? We're having a couple of you having fish. No fish and chips, me, bacon, mushrooms and scrambled egg. Oh, you are good. I've had my dinner tonight, so I'm all right. I'm all right. Right, so there we go. We've got that one and we've got that one. Let's have another bash at the one-step looper, because it's one of those things I think you really need to have a go at yourself. So I'm just going to pick it up and just sort of get a nice anchor on that. Now, if you start clamping it, you're not going to be able to get it in there. So you're going to have your pliers open, but you can still get the grip on there. So let's turn it over. Can you see that's coming through the side loop there? You've got it underneath the circle and you've got it butted up towards the edge. So sometimes it doesn't always work. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the instances where that's happened. But I think it's good that that happens while I'm live, because it just shows you what can happen. And can you see it's not actually cut? It's not actually cut it. However, it's still formed a loop for me. So what I would then do is I'd go in with my cutters, cut that off so I can disengage it, so to speak. I don't know why that happens. I don't know if it's because my one-step loopers I've had for a while, and then I'm just going to cut that little burr off. So that can happen. But I tell you what, if you're doing a big necklace, or if you've got pains in your hands or dexterity problems, this is a fabulous little device. So let's go through there. Okay, so we're just about to it's not, oh, I've even chipped a bead. Now that I've butted that up too close, so I'm not worried about the fact that, you know, these mistakes are happening, because I think, I don't forget when I went to one of the bead shows for trade, and one of the things that I saw was being demonstrated was a bead knotting tool, and that bead knotting tool, they made it look so wonderful, and then when I got it, it was awful, and it didn't get right up close either. So that's one thing to bear in mind, okay, is don't get it too close, a bit like when we're making the loop ourselves. Give a little bit of wriggle room. Right, that's cut this time, bonus. So you get the idea. So Kim is saying that she uses her one-step looper as she struggles making loops as it hurts her fingers. So they are really good for that. Jackie, when you say that happens to me, do you mean your one-step looper doesn't always cut as well all the time? What are we like? Who had a bowl of cereal? I love having a bowl of cereal. I'm not sure what the best size looper is, not gonna lie, but when they're talking about the measurements on the one-step looper, that's the size of the hole as far as I can remember. So let's just show you again doing the manual way, and then we're going to join the links up. So a centimetre, yes, and breaking the beads. I think it's really good to have all the pros and cons of it, so at least when you get it and you think, gosh, what am I doing wrong? Actually, there's nothing you're doing wrong. It could be the fact that with mine I've blunted it over time. Right, so just forming a loop. Like I say before, is as you're coming towards the end, use the tip of your pliers. Just bear in mind that everybody will have a different tension depending on what loops that you form as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, let's make another 2. Let's do another one manually and another one on the looper. The other way you could do it as well is you could always turn it at a right angle before you cut it. I'll also show you as well how you can make your own eye pins without one of the loops being formed the other side. Right. It takes a while, Samantha, to practice making loops. I think it's one of the harder things to get used to, but it is literally practice. It's practice getting used to the tools that you've got, getting used to the feel, how much pressure you can put. So yeah, don't ever give up is all I would say. So we've got that engaged, it's through the side there and hasn't cut, which is fine. When it hasn't cut, what I do is I'd keep it closed and cut it, open that up. It's still formed a nice little loop for me, but it's not quite as it should be. Right, so we're getting up a nice little collection. Linda said it took me ages to get a hang of the looper. It's all practice. It really is, and sometimes it's just actually someone showing you how to do it. Would you believe I was actually running a workshop in Marlborough College Summer School, and somebody showed me how to do it. I'd never used one before. I think I got one in my box and I went, I love these, and I went, to be honest, I've never used it, and yeah, loved it. Right, so this is forming it from scratch. I'm just going to have a little bit hanging over the side there. I'm using 0.8mm wire. So it's almost formed at one end for me, like so. And then you have to kind of estimate where you actually need to cut. So if you haven't got any eye pins, or perhaps you want to make eye pins with sterling silver wire, it'd be a lot cheaper to make your own than it would be to buy them, I can assure you. Same for jump rings as well, make your own jump rings. Buy any sterling silver from either Cooks and Gold or Palmer Metals. And you'd need fully annealed as well. Don't buy the hard wire. Fully annealed means that it's been heat treated. So when it's been heat treated, the wire is soft, which is what you get in silversmithing. Is when you want to work the wire and make it soft, you heat it up. Whereas if you're buying hardened wire, it's going to be harder for you to work with. So you would order 0.8mm round wire, fully annealed. And it doesn't matter if it's the recycled stuff as well. It's all the same stuff. Right, let's just give it a bit of wriggle room. Yeah, it's not playing ball with me today. It really isn't. No, I think I need a new one-step looper. Right. And when you're trimming, just make sure you don't trim through to the other side. Right, so that's that one. Let's show you how to make them manually. You like that? You like making your own eye pins, Samantha, and the one-step looper. So if you're doing your own eye pin, make sure it's flush one end, turn it like so. Like I mentioned last week, if you want to get a more perfect loop, then just go back in, trim off the end a little bit, then pull it back in again. Now I like to bend it back on my nail so that it's a bit like a coat hanger. Then I'm going to cut that. You could, now, another tip, just bear in mind, perhaps you have got a batch of freshwater pearls that are very finely drilled, or you've got some really small drilled beads that don't fit on your standard eye pins. You can also go down with the size wire, so you could use 0.7 or you could use 0.6, and that's also another good reason for you to have the skill to make it yourself, so that if the standard eye pins don't fit, you can actually make your own. So we're going to turn that at a right angle like so, and then we're going to bring that back. Now a lot of people, like I say, if they're using making small eye pins and they've got a lot of wastage, you know, they'll keep these bits. I have to confess, I'm not very good at that. Often I keep them and I just recycle it to the local scrap store. So that's that. Let's have a look at joining it now. So you decide what sort of pattern you're going to do. Now I'll use the standard flat nose and chain nose. So I like quite small jump rings because I just don't want the size of the jump ring to actually swamp the look. I don't want it to look all sort of chainy and silver. So I think these are 4 or 5mm outer diameter. So there's a slit with the open jump rings that I have at 12, sitting at 12 o'clock, and with my flat nose pliers I have one side covering, and with a pair of chain nose pliers, or you can have 2 flat, 2 chain, just something that clamps them, but don't use your round nose. open it up, side action, so that you don't put it out of its shape. So I'm adding both on there. This in itself, if you're new, takes a bit of getting used to. So I'm just bringing that back to its normal position and then just giving it a squeeze over the jump ring. Oh dear, it's good that you're back, Emma. Emma lost us for a little while. So let's just show you what I'm doing. I've got both of those on the jump ring and bring that. I like to take it over to the other side, then bring it back. Now, obviously I'm using gemstone chips. You don't have to just use chips. You can use any beads, you could use single beads, you could use circular gemstones. I have got some gorgeous new gemstones in the Facebook group that our lovely Francis Watkins has strung for you, and they are mixed gemstone and they would make beautiful eye pin jewellery. But you see, I know it comes quite quickly for me. It really, I always think, don't worry about racing ahead, just work at your own pace. The most important thing is to enjoy what you're doing. I'm obviously relatively quick because I'm used to demonstrating in a very short block of time, particularly when I'm on Create and Craft and when I'm doing demonstrations as well. Right, so on Facebook for you guys, I love that combination, amethyst and moonstone. Right, now what I'd like to show you is how to do this clasp. Now you can actually again do this in sterling silver as well if you want to. So this is how it opens. So it just clicks in like that. It's ever so nice. I really like that. So let's just pop this to one side and let's just grab some 0.8mm wire. Now I've got the wires available as well. Now I'm just guesstimating how much I'm going to need. What you could always do is you can always start it on the reel so that you don't waste it. So let's just have this. Let's start with the loop, the hook I should say. And I'm going to start with this bit here. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to start that end at the back. So we'll start with this loop here. So I'm just going to literally pop it round my round nose pliers. Now, as we did last week, I'm just going to cut a little bit off. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it does work. Just cutting a little bit into it just gets a better shape. Now I am going to use, that's not the best shape in the world, I'm not going to lie, but still we'll go with it. I am going to use a jump ring mandrel. However, you can also use a pencil or a pen like this that's got smooth round surface that you actually can wrap around, so you don't have to have any expensive tools. It's just, this is what I like to use. So I've got that loop there and I'm going to actually bring this around here. Let's just see if I can get a better angle for you. So that's the back. You can go a bit further down if you want to make it a bit deeper or bigger circumference here. So take that off. And then if you look at this, there's a smaller loop and it just sits slightly above. So I'm going to just cut that in line with the circle, or roughly in line with the circle, and then I am going to use the tip of my pliers and there we go. So that's your little hook done. Now this is a figure of 8, and I'm going to show you as well how we work hard on that in a second, but let's make both of the components. So I'm going to bring that wire a bit further down so it sits in between but flush. So I'm going to bring it round until it sits flush. Now I'm going to cut that because I'm not very happy with it. What I didn't like about that was it's too big. So let's start it so it's a bit further up the pliers. What you could always do as well is you could always mark with a black Sharpie pen as well if you want to make sure that both sides are equal. So I'm going to position that just underneath that loop that I've done, and I'm going to bring it back the other way like so. And then what I'm going to do is just cut that in there, and that's my figure of 8. What you also need to make sure is that your figure of 8 actually slots in, that you can actually get that in. Now what I also wanted to show you is we spoke last week about if you'd made a mistake on your wire, is how you could overcome that, you know, covering up some mistakes, I guess. So I'm going to show you how to actually texture and at the same time work harden. Now work harden is just a word that's used to describe hammering wire, and the reason why we hammer the wire is to actually make it harder and therefore more secure. I'm just tidying everything away because I want to actually get my little anvil on the top. Now if you haven't got an anvil, just something metal. Now this particular one you would need the tools for. This is called a planishing hammer. This is something I would use in my silversmithing. So you've got this side makes one type of texture, this side makes like pitted texture, and it works better with sterling silver because you haven't got that copper base underneath, but you can still work it on plate. So what I was going to show you, so if you were working the flat side, you would hit it and just come out, and can you see that's just making it flat? Don't get your fingers in there, whatever you do. And I love that because what it does is it actually flattens and gives it texture. Don't work it too hard though, because you're going to take the copper off. But I love that. So if I compare it to the other one that I did, so if you look at the other one, it's very round, it's the same size wire, but you've got that gorgeous sheen on it. Now let's try the other side. Now the other side is like a pitted effect. So what I would do is I just literally you don't have to do any of that, but it is handy if you have a rubber hammer to just hammer it even just on top of a coffee mat, just to harden it up a little bit. So let's just compare that to that one. It just adds a little extra touch. So let's now attach that to our bracelet. And because it's splued out a little bit, we just need to bring that back in so that the sides touch. That one, what have I done with the other one? Where is it? There it is. Right, that one's come out as well. So I'm just opening that up. I'm going to pop that directly onto the bracelet. Just close that up. Bring that closer. And do the figure of 8 as well. Close that up. And there you have your figure of 8 clasp. So let me know what you think. These are just ideas in the sense of, you know, don't feel you've got to go out and buy all of these different things. You're liking that? Good. I'm glad you're liking it. So what we've learnt then today is we've learnt how to make the eye pins. We've learnt how to make the eye pins manually and also using the one-step looper. Let me know in the comments as well how many of you have got one-step loopers, and also following what we've done tonight, if you've got any other ideas about what we can actually do with these different skills that we're learning. Now let me show you some of these. I really love these. Now I've actually made these so that they slip straight over the head, because I'm not a great lover of clasps, I'm not gonna lie. So that one doesn't have a clasp on it at all, and neither does this one, but I wanted to show you the different bead combinations. This is a great way of using up odds and ends as well. So in this one we've got opalite, amazonite, cherry quartz, amethyst, opalite, moonstone. So you've got a real gorgeous mix. I love them all, really do love them all. You could even make them into a 2-strand as well. Just thinking about it, you know, we bounce ideas off each other. What about having a 2-row, different lengths, right, a 2-row, and then have a bigger loop, say like for example there, and then just having a single row of beads going around the neck? That would be nice. I would quite like that. So you could have 2-strand that goes into 1. So obviously we've got our matching earrings that we did. Now the tutorials, I'm trying to put the tutorials actually on YouTube within a couple of days of them going live. It just makes life so much easier, doesn't it, for you to be able to actually access that. So that's the bracelet with the clasp. Like I say, it's not essential that you hammer it, it really isn't, but I just want to show you the different things so that you can have the options to do different things. So let's just have a look at your comments. I'm glad you're liking that. Maxine hasn't got or used a one-step looper. I think they're probably about £25, £26. So it really is the sort of thing that I think you'd want to get a bit of use out of, isn't it? And also how much it makes your life a little bit easier. Now, we were talking about sort of selling things at craft fairs as well. I know the eye pins take a little bit longer, but you could still make the bracelets if you want something quick and something speedy. If you don't want the expense of buying clasps, you can make your own. So these are all extra ideas, really. I'm glad you like them. Just use the chain for the 2-strand at the back. Yes, I see what you're saying. So Deb's saying is use the 2 strand in crystals or whatever you want to, and then at the back is just use chain. What a great idea, Deb. And also that saves on extra work for you, doesn't it? Which is what we're talking about, is when you're making things to sell, is think about ways that you can save yourself money. You're not going to see a great deal around the neck anyway, so it's not like you're not giving people quality. You're giving them the focal part there. So think about these sorts of things. I think that's everything for tonight. Now, next week, I am going to look at the crimping chain again, because I've had my China delivery and I've got all of my stuff restocked again. So I've got the crimping chain back in stock that you can buy if you wish. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Hope you enjoyed it. There is a couple of other eye-pin tutorials in my YouTube channel. I can't guarantee I'll be doing it in the same way, because every time I do a tutorial I do something different, but that's just the way I am. Keeps the mix up a little bit, doesn't it? Keeps it fresh. So pleased you enjoyed, and I will see you on Sunday, if not before. Take care. Bye.